What's good, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all feeling blessed. We back with another YouTube video. Man, it's a great day to have a great day. Feeling blessed, feeling grateful. Hope y'all doing well out there. Seriously, just gotta take it a day at a time. I just came back from a workout, got some hooping in, got some shots up. It was nice to be with my brother for a little bit of time. We're actually about to go get some food, but want to just chop it up with y'all. Not go on a crazy rant, but definitely want to share some constructive information and just help you out there as far as vetting and auditing the information that you see pertaining to health and health care. I feel like not sometimes, it may be more apparent, especially amongst peers or people that have been in healthcare training, strength and conditioning, physical therapy for years or even decades, to where there can feel like a gap between, okay, there's people that have tons of experience, and shoot, I can't even discredit experience. Experience is experience, versus people that are maybe fairly new in the game, and the gap is more so like, okay, both spectrums, there are people that are super into the science, and the evidence-based approach is needed, because that is going to be a guide and a map no matter what. But there's this gap of, okay, the more experience, if you don't have modern thinking and you're not malleable or adaptable, then you're going to sound like a dinosaur, and you're going to have certain methods that you just stay and stick to. So in your approach, in your content, and how you come off, it's just like, this is the only way or the highway, and it feels extra like salesy. Then there's the other spectrum where it's the newer science-based person, but they don't have that many anecdotes, they don't have that much experience in it. So great, they may be in research, they may be in meta-analyses and things of that nature, and that is awesome, because we need to still conduct new research, because some of these things take decades to even get published, to even get out to the public eye, and things of that nature. But there also can feel like a my way or the highway on this end. It's like, you got to be doing this and this, and not to just bash a certain culture or thing of that nature, but that more modern side may be let's use an example that's pretty talked about or prevalent, like the perfect routine culture, or the doing all these things every single day, no faltering. And shoot, I'm big on execution. I think a lot of the time we have these lofty plans that never get executed, but at the same time, the realism of understanding an adult and their schedule in this climate and during this time, from monetary standpoint, from a scheduling standpoint, forget it. Anybody with kids of any age, newborns to 5 to 7 year olds, to the 13 to the 16 year olds, like from the babysitting to the practices that they go to nonstop, to the after school stuff, that's just the kids' lives. Forget about the adult and those things. So trying to tell that person, okay, you're gonna perfectly wake up and get the 20 minutes of sun every single morning, and you're gonna be able to park 30 miles away from whatever store you need to go to every single time. Are those suggestions that I employ sometimes? For sure, there's a time and place. But of course, knowing your personnel is more important. If they actually can do those things and stick to them, then by all means. If that's not in the cards, I'm not forcing that on them. But getting back to the point of vetting and auditing information, it's a combination of a couple things. If you feel like there's just a presence of not an ability to stick to evidence and be science-based, but also be modern enough to where you can adapt, and if you were once wrong, be comfortable being wrong, because we all are wrong and everything is always changing. There's certain things that are constants that are just known facts, but everything is evolving and changing as more studies come out, as we see certain conditions come up, as we have different results and outcomes from climate change, from crises and things of that nature across the world and things of that nature. But if you ever see like a big influence, a big page, a big following, and it's just like, this is the only way, or how dare XYZ person do this, or, I'm just talking solely about healthcare right now. I ask you to dig a little bit deeper, because sometimes we see that one video and it's like, oh, I think I can resonate with that, or I think I kind of get that, or you even forget that. If you don't even critically think that hard, you just see a person and they look a certain way, and it's automatically like, yeah, nope, I believe him. Like, I I don't really know about that. Like, so all that to say, pushing certain agendas and certain messages is going to always continuously come out, especially when people are trying to scale and mass produce. You're going to hear from all business people. The more polarizing you can be and opposing to a certain viewpoint, they're going to press that issue. And I respect it and I get it. But at the same time, for people that as a society aren't as active and can be doing just baseline fundamental measures that can exponentially change their life, when they're getting sold on 1,000 different recovery methods, when they're getting sold on a specific diet, when they're getting sold on only moving in these confines and these boxes and this rigid, plane of motion, like, we don't need that. If anything, us feeling carefree, us feeling really good, us feeling limber, us feeling strong and resilient and robust comes from play and exploration. Why do you think you see little Timmy or you see Sam playing when they're a kid and they're just super agile? They have a great range of motion. They could jump off a jungle gym and land 10 feet down and they don't think anything of it. Immediately, the first thought, and this is how I know we're conditioned, you hear that? Oh, it's my age. It's because they're 9 or 10. That's already part of the issue. Have you factored in that the last time you did those kind of activities was 30, 40 years ago? You didn't think about that at all. Okay, now my schedule, I can't do those things. Fair. But can you do 5 or 10 minutes of it? I'm not telling you about doing it every single day for the next 90 days. Now, when I say you do 5-10 minutes of it, I just mentioned you haven't done it in 2-3 decades, 4 decades. I'm not saying to just jump back to exactly what you did when you were 9 or 10. I'm saying, okay, there's an entry point for you to start to incorporate those things. And once again, driving back to the point of auditing and vetting who you get information from, it's not always an entry point to those things, and being able to discern what is going to serve you. There should be a why when you're auditing, like why, the why behind they're even putting up what they're putting up, or at least a why behind them employing something. That goes for anything. If somebody is giving you a program that you're paying for, or you're actually training with them one-on-one in person or online or whatever the case is, there should be a why behind it. Like so-and-so wants to increase in their power, so we're going to find a way for them to be able to implement that, for them to be able to recover, for us to maybe get to speeding up certain contractions, things of that nature. Again, coming back to the vetting or pushing of certain agendas and information, sometimes it's like unknowingly as well. Like, for somebody that may be extremely fit and they might not have the anecdotes, the experience, sometimes not even the evidence as well. They just have the evidence for themselves, and I get it, that's cool, could be a great example, but sometimes that's also not enough. But even back to the example of power, they may be doing some high intensity interval training, and that may wow people and have them in amazement, and they're demonstrating single leg knee tuck jumps or box jumps into a burpee, and there's nothing wrong with the movement, but it's the messaging or the lack of the why sometimes behind it, to where somebody may come in and they have a huge influence, and that person may be that individual that hasn't done the movements or hasn't even done anything health related in those 2 or 3 decades that I was just talking about a few minutes ago, and then they get swayed to be like, that's the missing link, I haven't been doing that. And I'm glad that they put themselves in a mind frame like, okay, I want to be encouraged or empowered to trial those things and develop that play again. But then this is where the injury side of things potentially can come up, not because the movement is bad, because of the under preparation of not doing it for a long period enough of time. So again, doesn't maybe discredit or lack credentials of the individual that's giving it, but just trying to pose that thought or question of like, have your antennas on, kind of question, see if this serves you, see if they are making sense or they have a why behind why they did it or post it, even if it's just kind of arbitrary or if it's just vague or broad. If you were to ask them, do you feel confident that they could provide you with a quality answer of what the stimulus is supposed to do, when to maybe implement it? And if they're just like, you need to do this, you need to incorporate this, or why haven't you been doing this, or this is the only missing link for you to look like me, or especially if it's in the direction of do this for the next 4 weeks, download my jump program to transform your vertical in 3 weeks. All I can go down the list. And I know you know I'm not crazy because you know you see it. Take this tea and drop 30 pounds like my client over here on the left. Meanwhile, they probably did something else. They could have done a whole bunch of things that nobody knows about. Or do my pain-free mobility. Stretching, that's the only thing I really need to have been feeling tight. That's not the only way to elicit a response. Like, more times than not, it actually could be you haven't been strength training, and doing the strength training, putting yourself in certain positions is going to mobilize your joints and regions surrounding it to where you're going to be more limber and probably relieve some of that tension. So like, it's not the only thing to do, but you're going to see that pain, mobility, and stretching. Do this guide, and so you can eliminate your back pain. Meanwhile, you haven't been moving and you sit on your butt 9 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just always something to be sold. So I just want to push that method out, that mind frame out of vet. Look, see the people that they've worked with, see if they do it themselves, see if they may have a certain stance or something that they specialize in, but at the same time they have an understanding of multiple perspectives outside of just their own, and they can also be comfortable and confident in what they know, but at the same time be comfortable and confident with being like, you know what, I used to once think that, but honestly, with more experience and more trial and error, I actually am on a different side. I can get it if people do this XYZ thing, but it doesn't really suit my demographic, or maybe it's not relative to the people I work with, or maybe it's just not relative to me. That's fine. Disagreeing and things of that nature are all normal and fine. But I think sometimes we're so swayed, and we see this one thing, we pedestalize it, and it's like, this is the end all be all, this is the holy grail. It's rare that there's absolutes or definites in any of this. We're all so unique, but also the same at the same time. It's kind of crazy. Like, we're unique, we all have different paths, different stories, different walks of life, different experiences, different pains, different traumas, different triggers, but at the same time we're all still humans in this, and we're all still men and women. Like, there's no other way to cut it or slice it. So it's like finding the mesh or fusion of going off of the data, the science, and knowing that those are the elements that are just tried and true, and that's what makes us all the same, but then also making it unique and individualized to your lifestyle, your thought processes, your behaviors, and cultivating it. That's how you should kind of have your lens when you're taking this information, when you're working with people, when you're learning and maturing in whatever endeavor it is to better your health, is like having that foresight and that lens and antennas on, if that makes sense. So just wanted to kind of share that. Hopefully you can take that when you're looking up YouTube stuff for health and fitness, when you're on Instagram or whatever social media platform you're on. Don't, take some of it with a grain of salt. Implement it. Sometimes it could be as simple as, it doesn't have to be as thorough as what I've just described. Sometimes it can just be like, nah, actually it really is that simple. I like that thing. It resonated with me. It actually hits a little bit of a pain point. Let me see if it works. Okay, I trialed it. It didn't kill me. All right, I'll do that. But sometimes I think we go so far on the extremes. Dabble, trial, good, keep going. Trial again. Just no out the gate, no need. So hopefully that made sense. That's all I got for today. I hope you have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Peace.